Morning, everyone. Happy Friday. Woohoo! We've made it through we've survived another week. It's a good feeling. Good morning. I'm very, very glad to have all of our auxiliary family together again this morning. Couple of things I do want to make sure that I throw out there, and I want to do it first because I might forget. You know me, you know that's a very, very real possibility. The first thing being Monday. This coming Monday is Memorial Day, and we will not be having any sessions on Monday. So enjoy your day on Monday, SAN sessions. And then also coming up very soon, and the email gave you a better blurb than I will for it, but we'll have more information next week for sure. And that is, we will be shifting starting in June to the fall readiness programming, which will be same times that we are now, but will be more in the more geared towards getting us ready for returning to campus and when we're all back together on campus. So looking forward to that, and to the content that we will be having for that sessions, for those sessions, and that's what the sessions will be. These have been more personal development, career development. These are going to be fall readiness. So good morning. I'm very glad to have everybody here. Chef Jorge is my co-host today, and we're going to be cooking with him. And by cooking with him, we're going to be watching him cook. That's okay. So Jorge, you want to prompt any of give a little intro to what we're going to be watching?
Yeah. So good morning, everybody. Good morning from UGA Commissary, Joe Frank Harris. Like you see, I'm in the office today, so yay for that. It's Friday. So I was requested to do this, how to break down a chicken. In reality, I don't know how it came up that I decided I'm gonna use chicken, I'm gonna do this. I think I was just feeling a little bit homesick, and I wanted to do something that reminded me of home. Again, this is my family arroz con pollo recipe. It's simple as simple can be. No, go ahead. No, you're right. No, again, I'm in the office, so you're gonna see some people walking by. Just say hi. And then it's something that I learned how to make from my grandma, which she learned how to make from my granddad's mom, my great grandma. Again, super simple, but it's one of those things that get you homesick when it's been a long time that you haven't had it. So I broke down the chicken halfway through, more or less, just to show you the basics of how to do it. I probably went a little too fast, as my co-host just was mentioning to me that I need to slow down a little bit. I promise I'll try to do it next time. And I guess, Catherine, we can go on the first video.
All right.
Hello, my name is Jorge Noriega. I'm the executive chef for UGA Dining. This will be my second session / my second video. I was requested to do how to break down a chicken, and that brought in something that I want to do. There's a dish from Panama where I'm from. Well, it's not specific from Panama. There's a lot of regions that eat this, but it's arroz con pollo. It's rice with chicken. So the way my grandma used to make, she'll make the chicken broth, and then she'll use the broth to make the rice, and then put the chicken on the rice, with the rice. And for that, I'm gonna break down the chicken. I'm just gonna break it down into 8 individual parts. Really doesn't need to do it for this dish. You can do it chicken whole, but I was just gonna do this to show you how the basic way of breaking down chicken. Okay. So here's the chicken, a regular whole kind of sort of store-bought chicken. Try to drain as much of the blood that is inside. I'm not gonna trim any of the fat because I'm gonna use some of the fat on the broth because it's also part of the dish. So usually the way I was taught to do it, you remove the wishbone, but I'm not gonna do it this time. And I said I wasn't gonna trim any fat, but I'm gonna trim a little bit of fat. Okay. From this, I'm still also gonna use this. Ooh, it's a little frozen. Most of the whole chickens that you buy whole are gonna have the giblets and everything inside. Always remember to check that they're gonna have the giblets, heart, kidney, chicken livers, and the neck, which we're gonna use for the broth that I wanna do. Okay. So turn around. So you got the breast, wings, the legs, and thighs. Pretty much the way I usually do is kind of flat right here. I start separating. And again, this is not traditional. This is not the most of the traditional way because you should always take out the wishbone. I'm not gonna take the wishbone. Take the oyster meat out and go around the carcass, and you got your complete. You got your thigh and your leg out. I'm gonna leave them again. I'm gonna leave them together. I'm not gonna trim the fat because I want the fat for the stock. I want the fat for the stuff after. Again, turn around. The other side. Just again, and then turn around. And you're gonna just hear a little snap. Just boom. That's when the bone have dislocated or separated from the actual carcass. So again, you go again here, and this is called the oyster meat. You're gonna go right there into that little cavity and remove it. Pulling apart, you separated the bone as close as you can to the carcass. The chicken. Now, same thing with chicken wings. You see, bone connecting, just a little twist, and that should be able to come out. Okay. There you go. Your chicken wing. Same thing on the other side. Separated the bone from the carcass. Throw your chicken wing. Now you got pretty much your breast, your 2 breasts. Again, I'm gonna use this for a stock, but I'm gonna separate the breast just to show you how you separate the breast from the carcass. So right there in the middle, make sure you try to find that bone in there and go as close to the bone as you can. And this is the part where they tell you to take out the wishbone first, because then you're gonna end up cutting. So just slide your knife against the carcass. And you slowly pull, trying to keep as much of the meat. Attached to okay. So again, this is what I usually tell you. Separate it first. And that is your chicken breast. I'm gonna leave the other one attached. That's your main chicken breast. So chicken breast, you got your chicken breast and your chicken tender. So chicken tender pretty much, again, same thing. There are some of the silver skin and some of the connective tissue. You just peel it out. Yeah. Now you got your chicken breast. Make sure you remove any type of bone tissue you may still have. Again, that's why you remove the first, but I didn't think I was gonna do it. No, I'm gonna do it. So, but again, I'm gonna save it. You got your chicken breast. Trim it a little bit when you need to. Chicken breast with skin on. Make sure that you don't have any bone fragments or anything. If it were for anything else, I'll but you trim a little bit of that extra fat in there. Chicken breast. Chicken tender. Have this little piece of tendon here. And you don't need to cut it. You pretty much just, again, you just scrape it with your knife and try to take as much as you can out of it. You don't want to cut into tender, and you should have removed much of it from the tender, okay? Okay, let's see now, this one still has a little bit. You have your chicken tender. Again, you guys can see I probably haven't been doing this for a while, but that's pretty much that's all you need to do to break down chicken. Use the other part. So for this one, I'm probably just gonna leave it whole because again, I'm gonna use it for broth, and I'm gonna leave the most of the fat attached to it. Because when I'm doing what I need to do for the broth for the arroz con pollo, I want some of that fat. Now, what I have done there, I have started some water, just a little bit of water and salt to kind of sort of, it's called blanching. It's kind of weird to do it with chicken and this type of any other type of meat, but kind of the salted water. You drop your chicken into your bones, mostly bones. This thing I'm only using the whole chicken because I'm gonna use the whole chicken for the dish. So it's mostly bones how you do this. You blanch it, it helps you draw all the scum out of the bones and things like that. Again, a blanching, kind of sort of getting everything that you don't want in the broth or the stock out of it. So I got my water boiling. It's probably not enough. Yeah, that's enough. Say hi to me, Pertito. So, really, I don't know if I can do that, but so again, the water. Later on, I will give you guys a ratio for traditional stock. It's usually 8.5 pounds of bones for 6.5 quarts of water. And this is not really in stock. This is a broth for cooking rice. So it's not gonna be really clear. And again, the chicken neck. And what I'm doing right here is, and this I won't use right now. Maybe some other time we can do one about cleaning internal organs and stuff like that from chickens. So we could do some chitterlings or stuff like that. But they will do some other time. Well, thank you guys. Later on I will show you how everything comes together.
So first part of the video, I think keeps evolving. Yeah, my cat right now has become part of the videos. I don't know what to do to keep him away when we're doing this. Sorry about earlier. I was trying to answer a couple of questions here in the commissary. Catherine, are there any questions right now that we can answer? Or
So we were talking about knives again, so we'll go back to the knives. We can talk knives at the end.
Okay.
And Robert said that this just shows why we need a demonstration kitchen and training stations. So
Yes, Robert, you are completely correct. I would love one, and we need one.
all right, chicken broth.
Let's go.
All right.
Okay, second part, we are making the broth slash stock. It's not traditional, again, it's not traditional stock because I won't use like a sachet piece or anything like that. I just want the flavor of the chicken, not too much of the other flavors. I still do have a mirepoix in a traditional ratio, but I want most of the chicken and most of the chicken fat for this. You know, I want clean, clear chicken flavors. Arroz con pollo. So this is the first boil. You see how everything's coming. Well, not everything. All of this is coming up is a little bit of fat and a lot of it'll be scum, which is mostly blood coming out of the parts of the bones that are exposed to the water. And you don't want any of this because this doesn't really taste all that good. It's pretty much just really bitter. It's not where you want to get that flavor. It's not the flavor that you want. And again, this is one step of doing this. You're gonna have to do this all through the cooking process. You skim as much as you can. Make sure to get as much as you can. But here's the thing. While you're wondering why I have a second pot, because what I'm gonna do now, and I don't want this to be sticking to the chicken when I pull it out, I'm gonna switch it to another pot. And we should do one pot things, but this is one of those things I use two because I use this first pot to kind of sort of blanch the chicken. You see how all the coagulated protein is coming to the top. Not coagulated, cooked protein is coming to the top. You don't want any of that. So that's why I kind of sort of call it blanching, because you're taking away some of the stuff that you don't want to. For example, when and it's gonna be a nice, clean, clear, light color blonde broth of stock. Okay, so taking, I'm comfortable with this. This is off. Now I'm gonna, okay. See? A little bit there. You don't want any of that. And again, this is not just here. This is the initial one to try to get all that, but you're still gonna be doing this in the second when you transfer it. To my stock pod. So the water moves out. Okay. This one we use for anything. This was just a blanching liquid. We won't use it for anything. We let it cool down, skim it a little bit. Some of that fat that is in there that I don't want will come up to the top. We'll skim it, throw it, and then get rid of that water. And we start now with our clean chicken. Mirepoix. So we're gonna have enough water. This was I think it was 2 3/4, almost 3-pound chicken, and it's 1/4 water for every 1.33 pounds of chicken bones. It's not chicken bones, it's a whole chicken. So for this one, I need for the finished dish, I'm gonna need 4 cups. I'm gonna need 1/4 water. I'll do 2 quarts of water, just enough to cover. Again, just enough to cover it and enough for me to give me 1/4 water, 1/4 stock.
All right, Jorge, please clarify what you just added to the chicken.
Okay, mirepoix is French. It's a French expression that it's just like a trinity. You will find this in Creole cooking, but it's the basic of pretty much all French cooking, or classical French cooking, which is onion, celery, and carrots. Pretty much the same. The ratio is 1-1-2. So 1 per celery, 1 per carrot, 2 per onion, and it will, for making stock, French classical cooking, which is the one that is taught in schools, will use that as a base for all the stocks. And the proportion to that, to bones, to liquid is pretty much established for, like I said, is 8.25 pounds of bones for every 6.25 quarts of water, 3 pounds of mirepoix. So you have to do the math, but that's a traditional French terminology for those 3 items.
Okay, can you, and also, can you make that without, so say you weren't doing this with a whole chicken and you were just doing this with chicken without the boneless chicken?
You won't get that much flavor. So the reason that we use bones is you get a lot of flavor, and depending how long you cook the bones, you get some gelatin out of the bones. So that's why we use the bones. In this case, I used the whole chicken because I was going to use the chicken meat afterwards. But for the basic stock, you need to use bones. If you just using, let's say, a chicken breast or a boneless chicken breast or boneless chicken thigh, you're not gonna get that much flavor out of it, because by the time you have to cook it to get the flavor, you're gonna have everything a mushy piece of chicken breast. Sorry.
You don't break the bones, right?
Well, here's the thing. You do, if you want a little bit of exposure of the inner of the bone, or the back of the marrow, and that kind of stuff. In there, I didn't want to, because this is not a traditional chicken stock that I was gonna left in the stovetop for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours to get all of that. I wanted just nice, clear. I wanted just the profile that I was looking. I didn't want all of that, and because I had to take out the chicken meat before the chicken pieces before it got all mushy and tough. Like, you overcooked a piece of chicken, it can get really tough, and I didn't want that.
Okay.
But I will say no, you cannot make a broth or stock without a flavorful one without the bones, and without breaking some of the bones.
We're ready to move to the next video. We're going to end up running over if we don't. Here we go.
Bring it.
Second part of the video. Again, Jorge Noriega, Executive Chef for Dining and UGA. So the broth that we have yesterday that we made with the chicken, rice, arroz con pollo, rice. The rendered chicken fat, I already used a little bit of it. Onions, garlic, and the pulled chicken. You can, arroz con pollo, you can do it, everybody has a different way to do it. You can do it with the whole chicken in it, cut it into pieces, and make the arroz con pollo with it, or you can cook the chicken, do the broth, and all that kind of stuff, and then mix it all in. And a little bit of olive oil. So again, this is like really old school. This is the way my grandma used to do it. So what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna take the chicken fat, the olive oil. Please, rendered chicken fat is the best thing ever. Chicken fat, olive oil, and kind of sort of parch the rice. Add my onions and my garlic to give it a little bit of, you know, a little bit more aromatic, a little bit more flavor, and then add my chicken broth. So, don't get me wrong, you can do this in you can definitely do this on my camera person is pointing at something. I don't know exactly what she's pointing at, but she's pointing at something. So my camera person is pointing at something. So you can do this in a rice cooker. It's really easy. You just follow the rice cooker's directions or a slow cooker directions on the rice to liquid ratio. Same thing, you saute everything and then put it in your rice cooker, add your broth, hit it, and you're done. You should be good to go. So, why I'm combining chicken fat and olive oil? Because I like the two flavors. Chicken fat for the chicken flavor, and we got all of this good chicken fat from a nice little stock that we chilled yesterday. A little olive oil because I like olive oil. 12 tablespoons. Because we're gonna parch the rice. That kind of sort of means just kind of sort of searing the rice. Back home in Panama, we use long grain rice. Oh, you guys can come in here and see. I have a little bit of the chicken skin because we made chicken cracklings with the chicken fat, with the chicken skin of the chicken that we broke down yesterday. We can talk about that during this session, but it's pretty easy to make chicken cracklings, and they are really good. So I got a medium heat, just getting the oil and the fat a little bit more. A little bit more. Rice. So Panama we eat a lot of rice. I personally can eat rice for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and in between, in just plain white rice, steamed or anything like that. But the way we do rice in Panama is that you either steam it, the Asian style, rice, water, and steam it, or you can sort of do a mixture of the pilaf style kind of sort of thing, that you get some fat in your pot, we call it paila. You get some fat in your pot or paila, and you coat the rice. This one I haven't watched, and you're gonna ask me why I haven't watched or rinsed this rice. Well, depending on what you're gonna use the rice for, you wash it, you wash it, rinse it, wash it, rinse it, and soak it. For this type of dish, you go through the rice, make sure that there's no debris, there's nothing else. Milling techniques have changed a lot. When my grandma's time, milling techniques, I was still using huge stones to mill the rice. You will have little pieces of stone in the rice as well. You have to kind of sort of like go through it and make sure they didn't have anything. And if it was really with a lot of debris, you will wash it. Now, let's move forward 50 some years. Milling techniques have advanced. Rice, the powder, like if you were to wash this rice, this is basmati style rice grown here in the US. Yes, there will be some kind of, you will get something out of the rice, but it's the grains of rice in the box, in the bag or whatever, just rubbing against each other. It doesn't do anything. Okay, my oil and my fat are getting hot enough. Okay, so I have my rice. And it's like, don't go too crazy. Just make sure that the rice is coated with the fat. The only difference what we're doing here in the risotto is that risotto, so I'm not a rice connoisseur, I'm just somebody that likes rice a lot. Arborio rice, carnaroli, or those type of short grain rice that the Italians use are designed for you adding the liquid slowly so the starch can absorb the rice. Absorb the starch on the rice itself absorbs the liquid to a certain speed. A Spanish rice, again, a short grain rice, bomba, you will add the whole liquid, hot liquid into it. This is almost like a Spanish style dish. In which I'm parching the rice. Have you noticed I got some onions and garlic? Again, arroz con pollo, Panama. We do a lot of rice. We do a lot of onions and garlic. Not too much, just enough. Now, if you could hear it, the rice is starting to have that sound because the starch, amylopectin, all that kind of stuff in the grains of rice are starting to do their thing. So the fat is really nicely coating the rice. And one of those things you should, that you really want to get that smell. You want to get the smell of the really good olive oil. You want to get the smell of the rendered chicken fat. So that's one thing that a lot of people don't really think about. If you're breaking down a chicken and you're getting all this stuff and doing all these trimmings, save the chicken fat. Chicken fat for this, chicken fat for anything. Chicken fried for pan-seared potatoes. Sorry. Chicken fat. Tell, say hi. I already told you. That's Gustavo. That's it, they're done? Okay. Now, so, he was playing outside. So now we got the rice, pretty much. Every single grain. Don't beat it too up, you don't want to break the grains of rice. Now we add our onions. And now we add our garlic. Again, kind of gentle. You don't want to break the rice grains. You just want it to be coated with the fat, getting into the whole thing, getting the onion to caramelize.
Catherine, we can roll with the other one right through.
Will do.
Thank you. Well, the other one playing. Let me see. Maybe we can go.
What's the matter?
No, I don't know. I can't see the other one playing.
Oh, hang on. We're going to chalk that one up to a user malfunction.
Okay. Part two.
Okay, so sorry about interruption. Here we are. You see how the rice, every single grain is individual. They have a little bit of color. Now's the point where we add this nice little broth that we made. I will give you guys a ratio of rice to broth. This is a good time to taste it for salt and pepper and all that kind of stuff. This is also usually time that I add my chicken to it. So we bring it to high heat. let it come to a simmer, and that's when we taste for salt level, how you comfortable you are, because I haven't seasoned the rice. I seasoned a little bit of the chicken broth, but I haven't seasoned the rice or anything else yet. So you're gonna get your salt from the broth or whatever you do right now. For me, it needs a little bit of salt. A touch of pepper. Even though we used pepper for yesterday for the chicken broth, which I can give you the ratio. I don't know if you guys noticed, when I took the chicken, when I pulled the chicken apart, I left chicken skin, I left all that kind of stuff, because all of that is flavor. See how it's gonna start boiling a little bit. Try to use hot stock. Cold stock, what the cold stock, what it does is just kind of sort of chucks everything, and then you have to bring too much energy to bring it back to where you want it. So that stock was, I brought it to a boil and was simmering. It was pretty much ready to go. Now the rice is simmering. So, like my grandma said, get it to a good boil, almost until it's almost dry, then lower it down so you can get a nice socarrat. Socarrat is for us, if you're from a rice eating country, socarrat is that pot of rice that is stuck to the bottom of the pan, which the rice had completely caramelized. So it's like this nice layer of cooked rice that is not puffed, but is caramelized, and is the best thing. So in Panama, on my dad's side they call it socarrat, but in the rest of the country we call it con colón. Con colón is just the best thing. Some people only eat the rice with con colón. So you can see how it's boiling. At this point, the rice should be absorbing all that good broth and chicken flavor that we did.
You know what, Catherine? We're on a roll. Let's just roll that last one.
Will do.
This is the end of everything. This is when we're ready to eat. You can come here, you can look how the arroz con pollo looks. So, I like arroz con pollo really nice and fluffy. And this is a personal preference because some people, including my dad, like it really kind of soupy, almost like a risotto-like texture. So again, personal preference. You deal with, I put the amount of liquid that I wanted for this. You can put the amount of liquid that you wanted to make it really, Spanish would be meloso. So you can develop a nice kind of almost cream-like, almost porridge-like consistency, almost risotto, which would be wrong. So for this one, I also make this. This is not traditional. This is a 3-fruit salad. Yeah, okay. This is not a 3-fruit salad. It is something like a 3-fruit salad because everything there is a fruit. Some of those we don't consider fruit, like the tomato and the cucumber. but it has cucumber, tomato, pineapple, lime juice, a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper, and cilantro. If you don't like cilantro, you can leave it out. Perfect. But it have that acidity to go against the fat on the arroz con pollo. So the way I probably will serve this, no, not the probably, the way I will do this is one nice scoop of arroz con pollo, only two, on one side of the plate. And then a nice little salad that we made with cucumber, pineapple, salt, pepper, and lime juice, all the nice little good things. If you like it spicy, you can add some jalapenos. That would be really good. So that right nice, right next to it. Just like that. Get some of your juice on top of it. Arroz con pollo. Thank you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for even, like I said, even being here. Again, I'm Jorge Noriega, Executive Chef for UGA Dining. Bye.
So now we're all hungry and really ready to eat. Thank you for that. That was awesome. High fives to Maddie, your camera partner. She did a fantastic job. Questions we will go through. Yay, we have a few extra minutes to go back to questions. So I promised we'd go back to knives because knives was a topic last time. People wanted to know about knives and we're still asking. Frankly, I just want you to go get me some knives and then I'll just pay you back. We'll just talk about that later. But anyway, good knife, similar to the one that you were using, that will not break the bank.
So here's the thing about knife and the cost of knives. Depends how much you use it, how comfortable are you in sharpening your knives. You can get some really good cheap knives that they're maybe probably lose their edge really fast, but you can bring it on really fast. The thinner the knife and the softer the metal, it will lose the edge. Again, faster, but you can bring it, the edge and the sharpen faster. So my knives, or the ones that I have there, is a Japanese style Santoku. The steel on it is a hard steel, and it's a really thin blade. So hold the sharpness really good. The only thing I need to do every time before I use this, I hone it. But I do have to spend a good amount of time on the sharpening stone with it.
Okay.
So it depends how much time you want to spend with knives. I spend all day with knives. There are some really Victorinox knives that are not that expensive, but you do have to take care of them a little bit more than you will have to take care of, like, let's say a knife like mine. You hone it before you use it and you sharpen it every other week. Mine, I have to sharpen, and I do it out of force of habit, once a week because I use it every day, and it will keep the edge for that period of time. Again, it's and I can dedicate a whole video about knives, but depending on what you are looking for, the best thing I can recommend is a 8 to 9 inch French style traditional chef knife, because they're a workhorse of a knife. The shape of the knife, the shape of the blade is meant to be used. If you're not boning a chicken every single day, you can do it with a 90-inch chef knife. If you are chopping vegetables, you can do it with a 90-inch chef knife. 9-inch is a good length because it helps you keep away the tip away from you. It blends nicely into whatever you're cutting. That brands, I don't know if I want to mention any brands, but I will recommend for a everyday workhorse of a knife, 8 to 9-inch chef knife, French style.
Okay. Okay, so say for me, I need help because I see the comments coming in of people who cook every day and they know what they're doing. I not being one of those people. So you mentioned blanching. What blanching? What is the blanching? What does that mean? And how long?
So remember that we don't wash chicken. We don't do that.
Right.
So blanching is the same is applied to everything that you drop in hot water. For vegetables, you do it to not just to pretty much just get some of the color fit on the vegetables and cooking them a little bit just to the point that they are al dente, and then you transfer into cold water so you can do other things with them. Blanching for stocks and broths is that I don't want to roast the bones. So what I do is, because I don't want that color, I don't want that roasted flavor for this particular dish, I have a pot of boiling water. I got my bones. I drop my bones in it and just let it cook for a little bit to get some of the type of the protein of the blood protein, some of those things that you don't want in your stock, that you don't want the flavor of in your stock or broth. Like you see, I was skimming.
You say for a little bit.
Depending, and this for if I were doing a white veal stock or white beef stock, I will have to blanch it for more. It's depending on what type of bones are you using. A fish stock, you probably blanch it for 5 minutes. For this, because the bones were attached to the, I had a lot of meat in it that I didn't want it to get overcooked. I did it for 2 minutes. Just a good boil, skimming, and taking all that part. Then put it in my other pot with clean water and the mirepoix so I can actually get my broth. So the term blanching is applied to that. You put it in boiling water so you can remove or you can fix, let's say, the color and green things. But it's just that, dropping something in hot water for a specific period of time and removing it. Either you put it in cold water or you put it in, do it for the next thing. Like you will blanch, let's say, shrimps when you're making a shrimp cocktail. Technically, that's the terminology because you put your shrimps, you cook them till they're done and transfer into ice water so they don't cook anymore. So that's what it's blanching for. And I saw some comments about the recipe in Food Pro. I will put the recipe in Food Pro. Give me a little bit of time, but hopefully I can have it by next week in Food Pro.
Give me the ratio for the mirepoix again.
I need to break it down. Right now I have the ratio for making a gallon and a half of stock. So I will break that down too, and I will put it too. So I'll create a recipe and add it to it, and I will share it with everybody.
But typically the celery, carrots, onions.
Oh, the mirepoix, 1-1-2. So 1 part celery, 1 part carrots, 2 parts onion.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Sorry, I got to get there. We would. We were all commenting about food and how hungry this was making us. I got to get all the way down through. Do you use a whetstone or a typical knife sharpener?
I prefer a whetstone. I like whetstone better than oil stones. They don't get it sticky, and you soak it the night before you're planning on doing your sharpening.
Okay. And did you do these in 2 different days? Did you
Yes, I did do it 2 different days. Like I said, I made the stock, the broth the day before so I can get all the fat and be able to render the fat out.
Okay.
So, and I finished it the day, I did the first part of the broth I did on a Thursday, and I made the dish on Friday.
Okay. Tell us the rice. What was the rice what did you call it?
That's an
brand-
American, it's not it's an American basmati, and I think this specific is called Tex-Mati. So it's a basmati strain of rice that is grown in Texas. And
Okay.
it's probably the one that you get in Kroger. I'm pretty sure.
All right, that's the key point right there, is where we can find it. You called the rice at the bottom of the pot. You called it something. Say that one again for me.
Okay, so in my dad's side of the family, they call it socarrat. Socarrat. In Panama, we call it arroz con colón, which con colón means that you cook the rice and then all that stock in the bottom that it could be a little darker. That's what you eat. You first mix it all together and you get your con colón and your rice.
Stuff burnt on the bottom is what I get a lot because I get distracted. So it's not.
Hey, that's the best. Some people will consider that's the best. Some people will consider that the best part.
So then when you were cooking the rice, what temperature were you? Because you only had 2 tablespoons of olive oil in with your rendered fat, and you cooked all of that rice with it. So I was that just a low heat, or was that a higher heat? Like, I'm feeling like that you would have to go slow with that, or else it would burn. I non-cook right here talking to
So I probably have 4 tablespoons of fat altogether. That's the rendered chicken fat and the olive oil. Because here's the thing, some things in the cooking procedure, you need to be on top of it. There's no way around it. You need to be on top of it. That was medium high heat because I wanted the rice to start parching, everything to start getting really nice and coated, and maybe getting a little bit of color. So it was medium high heat to high heat, and I was moving it slowly. So it's one of those things that you see it, you hear it, because you start hearing how the grains kind of sort of start that
popping.
when you're sauteing something, that sound, and you smell it. So you start hearing it, looking at it, hearing it, and smelling it. And you get to see, that's when you gauge when you need to add your other part, the onions and things like that. And I kept that all medium to high heat until I added the onions. I didn't want to caramelize that much the onions, so I lowered it to medium, kept slowly stirring it, and when the onions were translucent, I got that smell from the garlic and the onions. That's when I added the chicken broth.
Okay. That when you were stirring your rice, were you mixing it in? Were you taking it off of the bottom? Were you removing what was on the bottom and kind of rotating it out? Or
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, exactly. That's what you do, because yes, you want to get some of the starches in the rice doing what they do, but you want pretty much every single grain of rice to be coated and getting that high heat contact in the bottom of the pot.
Okay. All right. So, yes, Shatera called it scorched rice or crunchy rice. Scorched rice is, yeah, that's typically what it's called with me. We won't go there. We won't go there. All right. So much love in the chat that you've gotten. That everybody seems to have loved this one. And I know I enjoyed it, and we'll be trying not to burn my rice as I caramelize my rice moving forward. To be continued.
To be
Thank
continued.
you.
Thank you, guys.
So, Jorge, I appreciate you joining us this morning. If you want to rewatch any of the videos, they are all on YouTube. And an additional shameless plug, if you subscribe to the Auxiliary Connections channel on YouTube, you'll get an alert every time there's a new video posted, and then you won't miss any of these things. So be sure to look for that. So hope everybody has a fantastic weekend. This afternoon at 2 is Coffee Knowledge and Home Brewing. And that's at 2 o'clock. Look forward to seeing everybody there. And then I hope you have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you on Tuesday next week. We won't be here on Monday. So have a great weekend, everybody. Bye.
You too. Have everybody a good weekend.